Hey, I'm Bob, totally blind since birth into Star Wars, talking about Part 5 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Spoilers ahead, watch the episode before listening to my thoughts, and now, without further ado, I'm getting into said episode. You were warned. Watch it, y'all gonna get spoiled if you don't. So, even before the recap started, the descriptive audio narration track let me know that some viewers might find scenes of this week's episode unsettling. And that got me thinking, okay, we're going to be seeing Order 66, aren't we? Are they going to go as far as I think they're going to go? But thoughts of Order 66 were immediately flung from my mind because after the logos, after the recap, after the Kenobi title, we were thrust back in time to the Jedi Temple prior to Attack of the Clones. We got to see Anakin Skywalker as a Padawan, Hayden Christensen out of the Vader suit. We got to see Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, probably sporting that Jedi mullet. At least I'm thinking he probably was wearing his hair that way. And they were going to have a friendly if you're Obi-Wan, a friendly lightsaber sparring match. And I think this is actually in the Jedi Temple. The narration track describes the setting as a terrace gazebo. Sorry for the old Dr. Demento reference, but for those of you who got that, way to go. And it was just awesome seeing those two quipping, and I like how they peppered the lightsaber duel throughout the episode in present day during Kenobi, because you have both Vader and Obi reflecting on that duel. They are analyzing each other. They're trying to stay one step ahead of each other. And it was just brilliantly played, that duel. And I like how we just kept going back to that. And I think a lot of fans who had been clamoring for some flashbacks with Anakin out of the Vader suit, they really got what they wanted this week. I was wanting that too, but I didn't know how awesome it was until we actually got it. I wasn't even sure we were going to get it at all. But yeah, we got it. And it's always fun to see Hayden playing Anakin. He only got about 4 hours, maybe less than 4 hours of screen time as Anakin. So always cool to see him back. Then, of course, in present day, you have Reva boarding the Devastator. I think that's the Star Destroyer that we're on alongside Vader this week. And she gets to be Grand Inquisitor. She's got what she wants. And, the battle for Jabim is just about to commence. I like seeing Kumail Nanjiani again as Haja. So he's on the run from the Empire. They're helping the members of the Path. And Lola, now she's evil due to the restraining bolt and the reprogramming. And of course, she's going to sabotage the hangar doors so they can't escape. But, Obi-Wan is thinking on his feet, and he knows they're going to have to defend long enough so they can escape. So, it's just a really dark episode. You have Vader wasting no time at all. Once they get to Jabim, those drop ships are sent to the planet. You've got Purge troopers, you got stormtroopers, you got Reva there, and they're all setting up those heavy guns. I don't know if they're EWEB blaster cannons, but it'd be cool to have whatever heavy gun this is in the 3 3/4 inch Hasbro vintage collection line. I really like artillery pieces with my action figures, and when those guns were mentioned, I was like, ooh, yeah, they could make a couple of interesting toys. So yeah, I go into I wish Hasbro would make that mode quite frequently when these episodes air. Because there's just a lot of interesting toy potentiality in these episodes, I think. So, you had that scene with Reva showing up at the front door, so to speak, and we get that scene where Obi-Wan figures out exactly who she is. And she is indeed that disgruntled youngling fans predicted her to be in the very beginning. I kind of hoped there would have been a little more to her backstory. I wasn't sure where they were going to go. I was thinking it was probably going to be that way, but it's Star Wars. You never know when it comes to the plot twists. So Obi-Wan figures out exactly who she is, what happened on the night of Order 66, and then we actually saw Anakin lightsabering younglings. And I don't know how much we saw. The descriptive audio narration track doesn't describe very much because there is dialogue peppered throughout those scenes. So, the track doesn't narrate while Riva's talking because, they want you to be able to hear what the characters are saying. So, like if there's a lull in the dialogue, that's when the track will describe things. But I'm guessing from fan reactions on YouTube and Twitter and stuff, it was pretty dark. So I guess other fans got what they wanted this week as well. And what a cool Battle of Jabeem it was when things got rolling, because you had Riva lightsabering in the door, you had the Purge troopers and the Stormtroopers coming in, you had that really immense shootout with the Stormtroopers and the members of the Path. You had Leia trying to get the doors open. They'd gotten her a ladder and she was doing her thing. Haja was there babysitting, although Leia doesn't need anybody to watch her. She knows exactly what she's doing. But it was a really immense, a really dark battle there. And I know I haven't said enough when it comes to Indira Varma's performance as Tala. It was great to see that character fleshed out a little bit this week, and we learned exactly why she left the Empire. She was not down for killing children, and that is why she didn't want to be an Imperial anymore. And seeing her sacrifice herself this week was just, it made me quite a bit sad. I liked her character. I would have liked to have seen more with her. I feel like she should have had a little more to do, but I like what we got involving this character. She kind of reminded me a bit of Juno Eclipse from the Force Unleashed video games. The whole disgruntled Imperial. She didn't want to kill who she had to kill, and that's basically what caused Juno to defect too. But man, the scene where Tala and Ned met their ends was just heartbreaking, and you could tell Obi-Wan was bereft. I could, because of the descriptive audio narration track. It let me know how bereft he was, and of course he's just letting it out in another no. It kind of reminded me of losing Qui-Gon in Episode 1. This guy has had loss after loss after loss, and he's back in the game, but here comes another loss that he's going to have to deal with. And then, of course, you have Vader coming to Jabeem, and what an awesome scene that was. You have Riva meeting with Kenobi again, and you have Kenobi convincing her to do her best to take him out, because, of course, as Obi-Wan says, all Vader's going to be seeing is Obi-Wan. He's not going to notice Riva. But, I mean, Vader is Vader, and of course he knows exactly what she's going to do. So you have everyone escaping. You have that decoy transport, and that really awesome scene where Vader just pulls it down and he rips into the ship. I mean, it's like a kid having a tantrum with a toy, but it's on such a much larger level, and it's horrifying to watch him in his anger. But of course everyone escapes, and then Riva does her thing, and you've got that scene where Vader just nonchalantly takes one of her lightsabers. He's just flinging her around with the Force, toying with her. She means nothing to him. He knew exactly what she was going to do. I'm kind of thinking he probably did from the beginning, because Vader knows the dark side like I know the backs of my eyelids. Of course he's going to know what she's planning, and he's going to use that rage to further his own ends. He's going to use that rage to find Kenobi. But of course now he's done with Riva, and he duels her for a couple seconds, and then he just stabs her. And that's what serving the dark side gets you. It gets you left exactly as you were found, in the gutter. And then, of course, you've got that scene where the Grand Inquisitor comes in, and of course, he is alive. Of course, the writers knew exactly what they were doing in the first 2 episodes. They have watched Rebels, I'm sure, and Rebels is not broken. Canon is still intact, of course. I don't really think I ever doubted that at all. And I love how he just comes in and he is rubbing it in this poor former Inquisitor's face. And man, he's just laying it on thick too. And he takes that pin off of her, the Grand Inquisitor pin or whatever that thing is, and he affixes it to his own uniform, and that's it. I mean, he is just back and in charge, and they're done with her. As he says, her rage had its uses, and now it's just tiresome, and they leave her to die. They leave her stabbed and on the ground. And of course, I forgot to mention that holodisc that Obi-Wan had listened to earlier in the episode. We had Bail saying he was going to go to Tatooine, and because he hadn't heard from Obi-Wan, and he was going to help Owen with Luke. And Reva puts the disc back together. It had been broken, and she gets a garbled version of that message. She hears the words Tatooine, children, the boy, Owen. Of course, she's already met Owen, and I think this is going to give her more of a will to live. I don't know exactly what she's going to do when she gets there. Some fans are thinking she's going to try to kill Luke because it'll hurt Obi-Wan. She's still mad because Obi-Wan wasn't there to protect her and her friends. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why she'd attempt to kill Luke. I think also if she finds out that Luke is Anakin's offspring, it's a way to hurt Anakin as well. What better way to hurt him than depriving him of the family he never knew he had? So, I mean, she's going to be able to kill two birds with one stone there. I don't know what exactly to expect next week. I hope we get to go to Mustafar, because the hyperdrive of that transport that our path members are in is down, so they can't really go too far. They're probably going to have to duel on either Mustafar or Nur, Fortress Inquisitorius. I hope we get to go back to Castle Vader, or Fortress Vader, I should say. It's one of my favorite locations. No matter how you slice it with a lightsaber, I am excited pertaining to the series finale. Hopefully it's the season finale. I do hope we get a season 2 of Kenobi, but I mean, we don't know at this point. Maybe, maybe not. I've had a great ride so far and cannot wait for the finale. So I will hear you guys next Wednesday or Thursday. And yeah, may the Force be with you. Hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I did. And yeah, till next time.